everyone. Welcome to another episode of Radar, the podcast that takes you into the world of Safran and looks at everything that affects the group on a daily basis. And in this latest episode, we're going to talk about time and orientation. Have you ever heard of PNT, short for Positioning, Navigation, and Timing? The PNT system is the future of navigation. Unseen, yet essential, PNT services are relevant not only in the transport sector, but in many others too. For this reason, in July 2022, the group acquired Oehler, a world leader in PNT solutions. So why has Safran gone into this field? What projects does it intend to carry out? To help answer these questions and more, we're joined by two guests, Sophie Zangs, Product Marketing Director at Safran Navigation and Timing in France, and Erik, Oehler, Marketing Director at Safran Navigation and Timing in the United States. Get comfortable. Today, we're taking a new route. Hello, Sophie. Hello, Erik.
Hello.
Hello.
So today we'll dive into PNT systems and how they affect the future of navigations. To start, Erik, could you tell us how PNT systems work?
So I can start with an analogy. Let's say you're planning a surprise party for a friend. That in itself requires precise positioning, navigation, and timing. First, you need to find the perfect spot for the surprise. So you find a location that's meaningful, accessible to everybody. It's like pinpointing the exact spot on the map where the party's going to work. Then there's the navigation piece. You give out instructions or a map to the guests, guiding them how to get to the party from their various starting points. This makes sure everybody finds the most efficient route, avoids roadblocks, getting lost. And then there's the timing, the synchronization, coordinating the guests' arrival so that everybody gets there at just the right time before the guest of honor. Make sure the food's there in time for dinner, scheduling the surprise moment. You have to synchronize everybody's actions to create a perfect harmony. In PNT, Safran plays a role by providing the tools and systems that make precise positioning, navigation, and timing possible, whether that's finding a friend in a crowd, reaching a distant destination, or orchestrating a network of data centers, making sure everything runs smoothly and efficiently like the well-planned party.
You could tell us how they're different from GPS systems we use now on a daily basis.
GPS and PNT tie together. Most PNT systems use the Global Navigation Satellite System, GNSS. These include GPS in the US, Galileo in the EU, GLONASS in Russia. So GPS, to get back to the original question, it's integral to PNT because it's one system that provides the raw data that enables precise positioning and timing, which in turn supports effective navigation.
Great. Thank you so much, Erik. So, Sophie, as Erik just explained to us, the PNT systems allow us to identify our exact position very precisely in the world and what time we will arrive at a given location. Do you think you could provide us with some examples of how to use this technology?
I would say the most obvious ones are within the transportation infrastructure that we all know, the trailways, the planes, the car. If you take, for example, the most recent development will be also the drones and the autonomous car. So of course, they need to have very specific time. They also need to have like navigation that is not jam or spoof, because the overuse of the GPS technology is also enhancing some threats like jamming and spoofing. So that's also a goal that we are trying to have, is to build up this secured and precise navigation and timing solution to be sure that everything is under control on that front, which bring me also to, I just mentioned the transportation, but also military operation. That's a given that they need to know precisely in a very secured way where they are, at what time, to make sure that everything is working properly. We also have space application. We do have some products working into satellites to make sure that we synchronize on satellite, but also on the ground, some application that will help, actually to get the proper time and precise time that we need for that.
And if we look at Safran specifically, what PNT solutions has Safran developed?
So many. We have, of course, timing. We have atomic clocks. We have gyroscopes. We have MEMS, accelerometers. We have now inertial navigation system. We also have GNSS simulation. We also have what we call interference detection and mitigation solution that are capable to identify the threats on the GNSS signal and make sure that you can have a proper backup solution for that, so that the solution can actually switch to an autonomous mode. meaning that they can, if you're into a military operation in that case, you be able to continue no problem for a couple of hours, couple of days, depending on the type of solution you want. But that guarantee the integrity and the autonomy of the solution.
So really active in this area. And as I mentioned in the introduction, in July 2022, Safran acquired Oehler, who is a world leader in the field of PNT. I'm curious, Erik, what added value does Oehler have? How does this merger allow Safran to position itself for future developments in PNT?
So Oehler's value proposition was resilient PNT technologies. Sophie mentioned a few of these already, and that means time servers, which receive, distribute, and synchronize the time across networks. Atomic clocks keep accurate time, not just in space, but in the absence of a GNSS signal on the ground. That adds that resilience layer. If I don't have reliability of my GNSS signal, how am I going to keep time? GNSS simulation, which enables the integrators of the GNSS receivers to determine how their applications, like rockets and autonomous vehicles, will behave in the real world. And Sophie mentioned interference detection and mitigation, which counteracts intentional disruptions to signals, like a jamming or a spoofing attack. Oehler also produced emergency locator transmitters, which complemented Safran's already strong aircraft solutions portfolio. So by adding the Oehler technologies to Safran's existing technologies, Safran instantly became one of the world leaders in the PNT space, where there's this huge swell of investment globally and no real sign of slowing down. Oehler also had a really strong presence in the U.S. civil and military markets, and Safran's goal is to expand over here. Last thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our R&D capabilities. Safran prides itself on excellence there, and the teams at Oehler are among the best I've ever worked with. They're a great fit. From Granada, Spain is developing nanosecond level timing solutions using the White Rabbit protocol. In Neuchâtel, Switzerland, they're developing atomic clocks that are on board the Galileo satellite constellations. It's just a world-class R&D team across the globe.
I'm curious, would you consider PNT a sovereignty technology? I know this is one of Safran's key strategic interests.
It's really a decision to bolster security and stability. Like if your infrastructure and your militaries can operate without GNSS, this makes sure that you're sovereign. You can make decisions independent of external entities. You're not reliant on them. That is, I'm pretty sure, the definition of sovereignty, but I think that that's where it fits in.
Definitely, yes. So PNT is now in our everyday lives. Roughly 90%, not to mention more, of our application are now relying entirely on the good reception of the GNSS signal. Thus, the need for, civilian application as well as military application to reach a new level of data protection. So to me, the reason why Safran, through Safran Electronic and Defense, acquired Oehler is the idea to create this new portfolio, a complete range of PNT solution that we can customize, combine to fit our customer needs.
So you bring up an interesting point, and I think we'll end around this question around the need, right? So for both of you, what would you say the expectations are from the customer side in terms of PNT? And are you anticipating any specific challenges for Safran around this in the future?
I would say our customer are looking for more and more customized solution, also could fit to very specific condition, whether it's for climate or ruggedized or, depends on the application, the needs are different. So we need to have more and more portfolio that would be adapted to each situation, which makes it more interesting. So that's a challenge because, of course, you have to develop new technology, I would say, every day or every week. But also you have to make sure that the form factor is respected, depending on the application that you need. Whether it's for defense or the civilian market, it could be very different. But, they don't want to have a loss in performances. They want to have the same level of protection. So, this is a challenge to make sure everything is more and more a fit to their need, but also accurate into the form factor and keeping the same level of excellence as we always have.
And you, Erik?
Sophie hit on a lot of it. It really varies by customer. In the financial markets and high energy physics, for instance, it's a speed race. How accurate can the time be? Nanoseconds, less? And every advance we make there creates new possibilities for our customers. In space and mobile missions, it's about payload and swap, which means size, weight, and power. How much accuracy can you deliver to me in as small and as light a package as possible? And in the military, it's security, resilience, and assured PNT. These systems can't afford failure due to jamming or spoofing or loss of signal. Investing in these things, it isn't just about technological investment for a lot of the customers. It's really a strategic decision to bolster security, stability. When you talk about the sovereignty thing, all these things help ensure that not just a business, but a country can operate independently of externalities. That's sovereignty. And, with the options available from Safran, they're in really good hands.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like definitely a really big challenge, but also a really rewarding one. So thank you both for joining us here on the podcast and sharing your experience and overall just being our radars of the day. Thank you, Erik. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon for a new episode of Radar.